Good evening, everyone. My name is Lieutenant Colonel Darius Douglas. I am the Director of Admissions for New Mexico Military Institute. It is a pleasure to have you with us this evening. Tonight, we're going to have a YouTube Live event where we will be having an open house. I know that many of you were not able to join us here at New Mexico Military Institute for our previous open house. So I want tonight to be an engaging, interactive opportunity for you to get questions answered by some of our cadets who are with us this evening. Also, one of my admissions counselors is with us as well. We want to make sure that we answer all of your questions, any concerns you may have, and we could talk about anything that you'd like to discuss. Okay. So, with that said, let's talk a little bit more about our institution here. So, New Mexico Military Institute, we've been around since 1891. We are a state grant military institution in Roswell, New Mexico. We're co ed. We're a high school and junior college on the same campus here. We are currently accepting applications for our January term, but I will advise you if you do want to send an application in, please get it in as soon as possible, as this will be our last week here on campus in the Office of Admissions. We will be going until January 2nd. So if you are interested in applying, please get your application materials in as soon as possible. So we'll go over a couple of things here tonight. We'll talk about admissions. We'll talk about cadet life. We'll talk about academics. Some of our cadets here this evening, we have international cadets. We also have a cadet who plays sports with our institution as well. So if you are an international applicant or if you are interested in playing sports with us, we got you covered here this evening to make sure that we answer those questions for you. You can also reach us if you have any questions. As I said, we'll be answering all questions this evening. So if you have a question, please send it to NMMI, I'm sorry, hashtag NMMI Life. And you can find us on Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram. So please send us your questions our way, and we'll go ahead and take care of those for you this evening. So with that said, let's make tonight more interactive. As I said, I'm sorry, this hashtag NMMI Live, not live. If I said live, it's actually live. So let's get into this evening, or I'm going to take some time out right now and have our um, have our guest panelists introduce themselves and tell you where they're from. So to start off, Cadet Eunice, if you could please tell us where you're from and what year you are here at NMMI.
Hello, my name is Cadet Captain Yunus. I'm from Tabasco, Mexico. Um, right now, I'm a freshman in college.
All right, terrific. Cadet Rios, if you could please introduce yourself, sir.
Hello, my name is Cadet Mayor Gonzalez Rios. I'm from Chihuahua, Mexico, and this is my fourth year here at New Mexico Military Institute.
All right, thank you, sir. Cadet Mustafa, if you please introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, my name is Cadet Mustafa Muri. I'm from Lagos, Nigeria, in Africa, and I'm a basketball and football player in New Mexico Military Institute.
Thank you, sir. And joining us this evening as well is one of my admissions counselors, Mr. Vargas. If you could please introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about your background here as well.
Sure. My name is Noah Vargas, and I'm one of the admissions counselors here at NMMI for the junior college side of things, and I focus in on the ROTC applicants. Myself, I'm a 6-year alumni, graduated high school here in 2015, and I graduated the junior college portion in 2017.
All right, terrific. Thank you all so much for introducing yourselves to our audience here. And as I said, please, let's get those questions coming in here. We'll be answering all of your questions here this evening. As I said, I don't want to leave any stone unturned. So to start off with, let's talk to Cadet Eunice. Cadet Eunice, what made you want to come to NMMI and what were any challenges that you had to overcome?
Well, since when I was a kid, my brother came here to Nimi, so my parents like wanted me to follow. Like they saw like it was good for him, so that he was like talking to me about it and all the experience you will get here, and also sports. That's something I wanted to pursue. So yeah, basically because my brother came here and the sports you do here, so that's what makes me come to Nimi.
Okay. Cadet Eunice, did you have any concerns about coming to NMMI?
Not all, sir.
Okay, all right. Terrific. Thank you very much, sir. And let's talk to Cadet Rios. What were some of the biggest advantages about coming here for you, Cadet Rios, that you saw before you came here? What was it?
Well, definitely knew how to manage my time more properly now. Um, Setting those time hacks of when to study, when to be taking your laundry. That we'll talk more on that a little bit later. And basically setting your own goals for what you have to do during the day, and that saved me a lot of troubles. And I think that's also shaped a little bit inside me.
Okay, terrific. I want to ask a question to my counselor here. Mr. Vargas, can you talk about some of the leadership roles that our students can expect to be in here at NMMI?
Sure. So starting out as a recruit, whether you're a freshman in high school, freshman in college, no matter what your age range is, your first year you'll be a recruit. And if you approach it the right way, that in itself can be a leadership position. It's a lot about learning how to follow, and learning how to be a part of a team within the giant corps of cadets, going all the way down to your squad. After that, the world is pretty much yours. If you start out and you want to be a squad leader the next year, you can totally do that. It's all about working towards that and working towards that kind of goal you have for yourself. Leadership positions range from a squad leader, which is someone that has in charge of 6 to 8 people, or it goes all the way up to something like a first sergeant, which is an NCO in charge of an entire troop, which normally goes between 60 to 80 people. And then, should you show your aptitude and your potential, you can be put on the regimental staff, which can have you in charge of the paperwork for the entire corps, for the logistics, or you can be the regimental commander, which is the officer in charge of the entire corps of cadets. Uh, myself, when I was here, my final 3 semesters, I was the cadet command sergeant major. Basically, what that meant was that I was the NCO in charge of the entire NCO support channel in the Corps of Cadets. And it was my job to make sure that whatever happened with on the officer side of things, that we executed their orders and their plans properly. And at one point, as a 19-year-old, 18, 19-year-old, I was in charge of over 1,000 people. And that could be pretty daunting for most 18, 19-year-olds, but with the proper training through NMMI, it was a fairly easy task.
Thank you, sir. And to follow up with Mr. Vargas and what he just said, our institution prepares you for leadership roles. Let it be going to college or going out in the real world and going into the workforce. There's nothing like being prepared to be a leader at such a young age, and our institution offers those opportunities for you in high school and junior college. Thank you so much, Mr. Vargas, for that information. We certainly appreciate it. Again, send your questions to hashtag NMMI Live, and we're going to get those questions answered here for you online. Right now, we actually have a question, and I want to send this question to Cadet Mustafa. Cadet Mustafa, one of our viewers online wants to know if there's any bullying going on at NMMI, and if there is any bullying, how is it handled?
Um, I don't like, because I've been in the school for the past 3 semesters. Like, this is my third semester, and I've never experienced anybody being bullied in the school. And if there is, like, the school is really strict, and like, they have a lot of rules. Like, you can't go against the rules or you're gonna get in trouble. So I don't think, like, any you can just get bullied or something. So, and if you do get bullied and if you report the case, like, to any, like hold cadet, or report to any TLA, like, they take the matter so, like, serious. So I don't think, like, I've never experienced anybody being bullied in the school, like, for the past, like, 3 semesters I've been in the school.
All right. Thank you so much, Cadet Mustafa, for that information. I have a question for Cadet Eunice. Cadet Eunice, can you talk a little bit about the class sizes here and what's your course load like here at NMMI? And just give us a little bit more information about what it's like to be in class here.
Um, about classrooms? Well,
Yeah,
academics
give,
here
give,
are
me a, give us a little bit information about that, please.
okay. Well, here at NMI, like academics is something that we take like real serious. Um, what can I say? Basically, the classes, talking about classrooms or what it is academically, the students here have like a really close relationship with the teachers, because like in the classrooms, there's at least, I mean, at the most 20 people per classroom. So you get to know like the teachers very well. They are always available to help you out in the mornings. If they have like a free period, they are completely able to like help you out in any question you have or something during classrooms. Um, yes, academics here are hard, but they're pretty challenging. In case you need help for anything, even you can like hire tutors, or the same teacher will help you out in the mornings or during any free period.
Okay, thank you so much for that information, sir. I have a question from one of our Twitter viewers here, and I'm going to direct this question to Counselor Vargas. Counselor Vargas, if you can answer this question for one of our Twitter viewers, how hard is it to get into NMMI? And did you have to prepare to get into this institution?
Um, so speaking on how hard it is to get into NMMI, it's challenging, but it's not impossible. Right now, we're looking at on the junior college side of things, you need about a 2.0 GPA, 2.25, and in a recent development, the ACT or the ACT scores are not required, but I do highly advise that you turn them in. For ROTC specifically, to receive any good scholarships from ROTC to help pay for the tuition, room and board, so on and so forth, you will need a 2.5 GPA and at least a 19 on the ACT. That's ROTC's requirements. Um, as for preparing for NMI, I came as a freshman, so I wasn't really sure what to do. I didn't really know how to go about it as a 14-year-old. If I could go back and kind of change things, I would have worked on my physical fitness a little bit more, and I would have gotten myself kind of in the regimen of waking up a little earlier, eating my meals at a certain time, taking care of chores or errands at a certain time, really learning how to work within a regimented schedule. As for ROTC, you are joining the Army. There's no question about it. You're signing up, you're signing a contract to eventually be a lieutenant and become a leader in the United States Army. That being said, there are PT tests and there are physical requirements that are needed of you. So that being said, if you're not a very good runner, you should definitely start running. Same with push-ups and sit-ups. Those are definitely the top three things you should probably work on, along with pull-ups as well, and kind of really just working on getting yourself into a regimented schedule. So kind of if you're the person that enjoys waking up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, going to sleep at 2 in the morning, you should probably start changing that up and getting yourself in a better routine of things.
Thank you so much for that information, Mr. Vargas. We certainly appreciate that. I have a question for one of our YouTube viewers, and I'm going to direct this question to Cadet Mustafa. Cadet Mustafa, referring to the basketball program here, is there a minimum height that an individual has to be to join our basketball team?
No, no, not at all. Like
Okay.
no, not at all. Because actually because this is my first season that I'll be playing for the basketball team, and like the tallest guy in our team is pretty much like 7 foot. Although he didn't play this season because he's red shirt, so he's gonna be playing in the next season. And pretty much like the shortest guy we have on our team is like, 6'1" or 6'2". We have like 3 point guards, and like our shooting guard is like 6'7". So like there's no minimum like height to for like any cadet to join a basketball team. Like if you're like pretty good and then sound enough, you'll be on the team.
Thank you so much for that information, Cadet Mustafa. We certainly appreciate that. And I have a follow-up question for you as well, Cadet Mustafa. I understand you're on the football team here and you're a terrific athlete for the institution. Can you talk a little bit about our athletic opportunities that are available here at the institution? And did you have to go through any type of recruiting as far as for the football program? We have some of our viewers out here that are interested in our athletic program, and they would just like to know a little bit more information about it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I mean, do recruiting for the football, like me, because like I said, I'm from Nigeria, but when I started playing football is when I got to Nashville, Tennessee, and I was looking for like a JUCO, like a junior college to go so that I can play 1 year to then from there I can go to D1. So that's when I started going for like a football camps, like different camps in Kansas, in California, I can remember. So that's when one of the coaches saw me in the camp, and they started like they talked to me like where am I from, stuff like that. So they asked me if I want to come to like New Mexico Military Institute. So I was like, military school, I wasn't really sure about it, but they let me know that it's fine. Like it's a great opportunity to come here, like like to play for a military school is a great thing, and I'm gonna get a lot of exposure because they like show me some players that came to the school and they get to like some big school. Like for example, like the guy that got to Ole Miss, like the quarterback for Ole Miss, Teamo, because he finished it. That was like I think that was like 2 years ago. So yeah, so I mean, I think it's a great program to come here, like to to be a football player because like the education wise and the exposure, you know. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for the information, Cadet Mustafa. We certainly appreciate that. I have a question actually for Cadet Rios. Cadet Rios, can you give us some information on what a typical day is like being a cadet here at the institution? And you can give us some personal information about yourself. What it's like for yourself being a cadet here? Can you let our viewers know that?
All right. Um, we'll wake up. I wake up around 6:30. We have reveille at 6:15 every morning, and then we march to the mess hall. We have breakfast order, and then we go to our classes. Classes start from 8 until 3:30. We have lunch again. We have formation for lunch. We go to lunch. We continue classes. That's at noon, and we have dinner at 5 o'clock, 5 or 5:30, and that one's free. So you go at your own time, and you have an accountability formation in the nights at 7 p.m. And after that, it's all gonna be just night study hall, which we call NSH, and it's all until 10 o'clock. And at 10 o'clock, you can either go to Fort Mill, get some cereal, or you can stay in your room, get ready for your next day, and get to bed. Um, on the personal point of view, I I basically try to get my homework done as quickly as I can before 9:30, and that way I have some personal time. I can go take my shower, go get some cereal, my Fort meal, and be in bed around probably most likely around 11ish. So that's what a regular day looks for me. During the free time we do have between after classes, which is at 3:30 until 5, there's all the extracurricular activities for sports. So if you're in any sport, you can go train, or if you're in any club, you can go to the rappel tower, or you can go to the boxing club, or even go learn a language or how to play guitar in that same time.
Okay. Thank you so much for that information, Cadet Rios. We certainly appreciate that. We have another question from one of our YouTube viewers, and I'll answer this question for you. You want to know what's the percentage of our applicants that get accepted to our junior college? Well, overall, 30% of our 30% of applicants get accepted here to New Mexico Military Institute. So as you can see, a very large percentage of our applicants do not meet our requirements for the institution. But what I would like to say is that we do look at applications holistically. We do not focus on one particular area. So if you are a junior college applicant, you can actually apply to our institution without taking the ACT or SAT. And that's a unique um, feature about our application process. It's a very streamlined application process. So the application for admission can take about 5 to 10 minutes to complete online. It's a free application that you can submit. And then after that, you want to submit your transcripts from any high schools that you've attended. Also, if you're transferring from another college or university or junior college, you want to have those transcripts submitted to us as well. With that said, that's pretty much the process, along with our medical packet form. We will review your application and we will have a decision for you within 24 to 48 hours. Okay, it is our job here to make sure that we get a quick decision out to you from New Mexico Military Institute so that you can start planning your academic future with us. Okay, and as I said in the beginning of our session here, we are still accepting applications for the January term. But if you are interested, please submit your application as soon as possible. Now, what you may find online, if you cannot submit the application for January, just submit it for fall and we can change it over to spring for you. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question for you there. As far as the required GPA that we look for is normally a 2.0 is the minimum requirement, but we have reviewed applications with GPAs below a 2.0. As I said, it's a holistic application process. We do not focus on one particular area of the application, okay? Thank you very much for that question. So for our cadets joining us this evening, I have a question for each of you, and I will ask each of you individually. So you all you're all international students with us here at NMMI. I want to talk a little bit more about your experience. Have you joined any like clubs or activities here to help get you acquainted with the culture here in the U.S.? And I'll start off with Cadet Eunice. Have you joined any clubs or activities since you've been here, sir?
Well, I've been here since my sophomore year. I've been here already 4 years. Me as a Mexican is not that hard because like here in NMMI, there's like a really big amount of Mexicans. We have a club that is the Mexican club. There's different clubs, as one of my friends said. Uh, I play tennis. It helped me out like a lot because I got to know like other people, like they like the same thing than me. So we become a team, and it's actually pretty good. So there's other cultures that has their own clubs, like Polynesian club or African American club that everyone is able to join, and it's pretty good. So for my side, I only joined the Mexican club. I joined once in the Polynesian club, and well, I play tennis.
Okay, thank you so much for the information, Cadet Eunice. Cadet Mustafa, have you joined any clubs or activities since you have been here at NMMI?
No, sir. Ever since I came to United States, and that was in 2014, I have not like joined any club or anything. Like I don't have like any group. But as far as I'm concerned, like the only group I would say like I've been is like when I came to NMMI here, like my football team, because like you know the school like is not really big, and we are like in my team we are just like a one family, and because we can't really go out the campus, everybody know each other. Like we stay with each other, so we see each other every day, and we have a meeting together. And the coaches too, like they bond with us. Like it's not about football. They talk about like the lifestyle and how it can be successful after naming in future stuff like that. So we pretty much like all together every time. So I guess I would say like my team is my club.
Great, thank you so much for that information, Cadet Mustafa. And Cadet Rios, how about yourself, sir?
Yes, I've joined the ropes course club. It's pretty cool. you get to learn how to do certain knots and how to climb climbing walls, how to rappel properly, and how to actually play a lot of we call them initiative games and tag games, and how to work with other people, especially. I That's my main club where which one I to which I go on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I've also joined the. It's not so much of a club; it's the owner board, and that's more of an extracurricular activity you can take here. And basically, what we do is we are like lawyers for the other cadets, and we do investigations and research whenever a cadet commits another offense, which is lying, cheater, or stealing. And it's a very interesting process. I like it a lot. And if you're interested in anything that's got to do with law or law school, that's a club I would or an extracurricular activity I would definitely join. And those are my main two.
All right. Thank you so much for that information, Cadet Rios. Mr. Vargas, I have a question for you, sir, from one of our viewers here as well. So we're obviously a military boarding school here. Mr. Vargas, can you give us some information on some of the military ceremonies that we have here, or any type of special events here? One of our viewers is very interested in learning more about that.
Sure. So the main one we have is homecoming, which takes place towards the middle to the end of October every year. And homecoming is just as you expected as any other college. Alumni come back to visit the school. We have our big football game. But what makes it special here at NMMI is the different ceremonies and customs and traditions that we have that are specific to our school. Whether that's Flame Guard, which is our personal way of commemorating the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier in Arlington National Cemetery. We also have the Gauss Rifle Drill Team perform, and they do the same routines that have been doing since the beginning of the 1900s. So they've refined it and perfected it. So they perform that. We also on during the week of homecoming we have a thing called Silver Taps, which is when the alumni office collects the names of all the alumni who have deceased since the previous homecoming, and the entire Corps of Cadets, along with the alumni, form up in one of our main barracks, which is called the Hagerman Barracks, and a candle is lit for every name of the deceased alumni as they're read over the intercom. And then to accumulate everything in homecoming, we have a big parade on our parade field to show the state of training and discipline from the Corps of Cadets. Outside of homecoming, we have multiple open houses, which we're able to see cadets doing their daily training, whether that's rifle drill, marching, cleaning their rooms properly, learning how to put together uniforms properly, that anything that you would normally see in a paramilitaristic setting based around the Army. And we also have a giant New Mexico State Fair parade that Roswell puts on, and we are a big component of that. So the entire Corps of Cadets march down Main Street and shows themselves off to the citizens of Roswell.
Thank you so much for that information, Mr. Vargas. We definitely appreciate that, and I'm pretty sure our viewers do as well. One of the questions that we have from our viewers, and I'll go ahead and answer this one for you. One of our viewers wanted to know how many recruit at training cadets will we have for this January? Well, currently right now, we are right above 60 that we're expecting for January, okay? And as far as the amount of cadets that we can have at capacity here is 965, okay? So we're looking at a little bit above 60 as far as January goes. Another question that one of our viewers had as well is, are there any scholarships available? There are definitely scholarships available, and I would like to encourage anyone who is thinking about attending our fine institution to please visit our financial aid website. We have an abundance of scholarships available. One of our scholarships is the legislative scholarship, whereas you can have up to $5,800 of your tuition paid through one of our legislators here in New Mexico. We also have the Knoll Scholarship and the Lucky Valera Scholarship. The Lucky Valera Scholarship can pay up to the cost of tuition. Okay, yes, the cost of tuition. So please, I beg you to look at our scholarships and visit our financial aid website. And a member of our financial aid department can also help you out that as well. If you have any questions about scholarships, about financial aid, about the FAFSA, if you're one of our junior college candidates, they are waiting for you to ask those questions for them. So please visit our website there, and we have an abundance of information available there. All right. Thank you so much for sending that question to our YouTube viewer. Now, one of our questions that we have next for, and I will direct this one to Cadet Eunice. Cadet Eunice, what was one of the biggest accomplishments that you have tackled here thus far at the institution?
Well, probably one of the biggest things I ever accomplished here is my rank, my position that I have right now at the Corps. I'm a troop commander. Uh, Coming from high school, then graduate from high school. That's a big thing too. As an athlete, I can say like win the state tournament as my senior year with my whole team. That was like a big accomplishment. So I'm really happy about it.
All right. Thank you for that information, sir. One of our viewers has asked me a question about our next open house. Okay, so our next open house we're going to have in February, and then we'll also have one in April as well. So we're looking at February 16th and April 27th for our next open houses. If you are interested in attending a physical open house here, we will be more than glad to welcome you here and let you take part of the activities that we're going to have. We have faculty, staff, administrators available for you that day. Yours truly will be there that day as well. You also will have the opportunity to meet some of our fine men and women that we have here at the institution, and they will be showing groups around the campus here. If you are one of our high school candidates, you have the opportunity to take our math placement examination, which helps us determine where you are mathematically and put you in a proper course here at the Institute. We also have a very fine lunch that day. So it's not McDonald's or pizza or anything like that. It's going to be a very nice meal for you or your family if you decide to join us here for one of our open houses. So yeah, please, you can register online at our website. We have a calendar on there where you can register to come here and visit us in Roswell, New Mexico. And we'll be glad to show you our fine facilities here. And you, as I say, you get a chance to meet some of our terrific staff members here as well. To each of you, obviously, since you've been here at New Mexico Military Institute, you've changed as individuals, and I would say for the best. Cadet Rios, how do you think the institution has changed you, or how would you say your family has say you have changed since you've been
Well, it's different being away from your family, especially if you're international cadet. But the way I think it's shaped me and changed me overall is that it makes you stronger. It teaches you that when you're here, you have to work for your goals and get them. And then once it's time to rest, when you leave on a break and you see your family, you are accomplished and you feel like you have gained something. So I think that's the major change that being here has impacted in my life. Um, Probably the biggest one.
All right. Thank you so much for that information, Cadet Rios. My next question is going to be for Mr. Vargas. Mr. Vargas, talking about our ROTC program, do you have to go into the Army to join our ROTC program here?
So inherently, signing a contract and joining ROTC, you will be, for all intents and purposes, you'll be in the Army. You'll be a part of the ROTC program. You'll be getting paid as an E5 or a sergeant while you are in the ROTC program as a drill pay once a month as a National Guardsman or a reservist, whichever pathway you decide to go. However, you are not required to enlist prior, meaning you don't have to sign a contract with the National Guard or the Army Reserve as an enlisted personnel, and then when you get done with your basic training, AIT, switch over to ROTC. That is not required. The biggest benefit to that would be going through a little bit of extra training and receiving some tuition assistance through the National Guard. Other than that, no, it is not required to enlist prior to joining ROTC.
All right. Thank you so much for the information, Mr. Vargas. I want to direct this question to Cadet Mustafa. Cadet Mustafa, you indicated to us that you are a football player. One of our YouTube viewers would like to know, when do you have to report for football in the fall?
Well, I mean, I'm done with my football season now, and playing basketball right now, and I got to report back to school on January 1st. But the football player, I don't think they have to report back to school until like January, like 10 or I think 11, when the regular student report back to school, and when they coming back to school, they're just gonna be like, training, getting ready for the season, for the off season stuff like that. But like for here, I'm like just done with NMMI football. Fully, I think I'll be going to University of Chicago. So I'm just playing basketball for the team right now. So I have to be back to school on January 1st for the basketball season.
Okay. Thank you very much for that information, Cadet Mustafa. Our next question is going to be for Cadet Eunice. Cadet Eunice, can you talk to us a little bit more about the furlough process here at New Mexico Military Institute? And also, if you can give our viewers a little bit more information about time off from the institution and what are your weekends like here at the institution as well?
Well, for the time off here at the institute, like during the whole week, like academic week, you're like really, really busy with what is like formations, or well, in the morning you have classes, in the afternoon you have your sport, then in the night, well, you have your NSH, where the night study hall, it's time to study. During the weekends, after Friday, Friday afternoon, you're able to go out, get some dinner, like right after formation. That is like around 6:30 in the afternoon. Saturdays, well, in the mornings, we normally have kind of training. In case that is not training, well, you have the complete day off. If we have like a football game or a mandatory basketball game, what we call mandatory fun, we have to go in the nights. It's pretty cool, but to see like all the core watching like a football game or a volleyball game or a basketball game. On Sundays, well, after 8, that is the only formation we have in the morning. We have the rest of the day free. You can go to religious service if you want. You can go to chapel here at the institute. You can go out of the institute and get, I don't know, food or buy stuff for yourself. Um, Pretty much that's it. In the nights on the Sunday, well, you have again to study.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for that information, Cadet Eunice. We definitely appreciate that. Next question is going to be for Mr. Vargas. Mr. Vargas, do we have a flight program here at New Mexico Military Institute? And also, is there an age requirement as well for that?
For which program, sir?
The pilot program, flying, pilot's license
Oh,
program.
the flight program. Yes.
Yes.
So it's normally geared towards the college cadets, as the college cadets have a lot more time on their hands. They have a lot more time during the day to go out and participate in that. The college schedule here is very akin to the way you see at a normal university, to where you see the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday classes. And a lot of cadets will make it to where their classes are only on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or only on Tuesday and Thursday. So that allots them a lot more time to do that aside from the high schoolers. I haven't been told of or ever heard of an age restriction. As long as you're old enough to get your pilot's license, you can do that. But again, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be full of college students who have the free time to go ahead and do that.
All right. Thank you so much for that information, Mr. Vargas. We certainly appreciate that. We have a question from one of our YouTube viewers, and I'll direct this to Cadet Rios. Cadet Rios, one of our YouTube viewers wants to know if video games are allowed here at New Mexico Military Institute and cell phones as well.
All right. Yes, the cell phone, the most important one, is the only main rule that you're gonna face if you come here as a recruit is that you have to leave your phone in your room for the first, I believe it's 28 days, and you can't take your phone to your classes unless your teacher tells you to bring it because you're gonna work on it for an activity or something like that. And after that, pretty much just use your phone inside the buildings. Um, Academic buildings are allowed to use your phone too as well. Just don't use it outside. And for video games, yes, you're allowed to bring your video games. However, you're only allowed to be playing in your free time. So you cannot play during night study hall, but you can use it all you want on the weekends or after 10 o'clock.
All right. Thank you so much for that information, Cadet Rios. Definitely appreciate that. Another part of that question, I'll answer this one for the viewer. You want to know if you could bring your PC to New Mexico Military Institute. All of our cadets are handed out laptops, okay? And I will say this, they're very fine laptops. It's better than the one that I was given as the director of admissions. So don't worry about bringing your PC. You will be given a laptop upon your arrival here at New Mexico Military Institute. So we have that taken care of for you there. Before we get back into some questions, again, I will remind everyone that you can send your questions to us at hashtag NMMI Live. Also, if you are still thinking about applying for our January term, we will accept your application here, but you will have to work very fast. Okay, my admissions counselors here are willing to work with you in order to get your documents in here, but you will have to work very fast in order to get accepted here for our January term. All right. So we're almost about ready to wrap things up here tonight. Let's ask one final question here for our cadets, and I'll go around to each one of them individually. I want to start off with Cadet Mustafa. Cadet Mustafa, can you please tell us why did you choose to come here to New Mexico Military Institute?
Okay, so I didn't, I didn't, to be honest, I didn't really choose to come here. Like, I was supposed to go to school in Kansas. I got a scholarship in Kansas, and I got another one in California. I got three of those. So, like the one in Kansas, like they didn't offer me. I got to pay for my tuition. The one in California, it was kind of cool, but I didn't really like the school. So this one, I kind of see that like is a military school, and I get to eat like 4 meal a day, and I kind of like see the football program. I kind of like it, like I like it, and I like it, and I was like I'm gonna fit in. So that's why I end up coming here. And when I got here, my first semester it was pretty really challenging for me. Like it was really challenging for me because first of all I'm an athlete and I end up in a military school, and like the rules and all this stuff, like it was hard for me, like to like get along with the rules. I got pretty stuck for my first semester. I got in some like busy like little trouble because I wasn't like I wasn't doing like some right duties, but as time goes on, I get to understand the rules and everything. So, and it was pretty challenging for me because like the classes, I gotta maintain my time to go to class, to eat, to wake up, and to go to practice and to meetings. So, but eventually, I end up like liking it because it helps me a lot to become a leader. Like that's one of the big thing I realized it make me become a leader and better person, and it helps me like in a different way. And I believe when I'm gonna graduate, it's gonna help me in my next school or wherever I'm going. So yeah.
All right. Thank you for the information, Cadet Mustafa. Same question for you, Cadet Rios. Why NMMI for you?
Well, it was a difficult decision, but I remember well, the main thing that made me actually want to come into the school and look it up was the buildings. Uh, I kind of liked them. They were. I looked at pictures in the online web page, and then I went into Google, and it all looked like castles, and it all looked like a school with lots of history, I guess. So I came here, I did my tour, I checked it out, and then the next thing I know, I'm taking the tests and the exams to enroll into the school. So it was kind of a fast decision, but I do not repent. It was a great decision I did. I made lots of friends. I have made lifetime friends all over the world, and I am truly grateful for that and for all the academic purposes and challenges that Jimmy has said to me.
Okay. Thank you so much for the information, Cadet Rios. Cadet Eunice, if you could finish us off here on that question. Why did you choose NMMI?
Well, my family, my brother came here, so he like they have been always like looking at this school for me. They always like try to get me involved in something like it has to do something with the military. So my brother used to tell me stories about like how was the school and like the good stuff and the bad stuff. And like I found it like really interesting. So I was like, oh my God, I want to do that. I want to be in there. And well, they also told me about the opportunities that you can get whenever you leave here. As an athlete, you can get like a really good scholarships for, I mean, any sports you play. So it was a great opportunity to do it. So I say, why not?
All right. Thank you so much for that information, sir. I have a question here from one of our YouTube viewers. And this viewer would like to know how many of our cadets actually, or what's the percentage of our cadets that go into the military? Um, quite the contrary. A lot of people may believe that since we're a military school, that most of our cadets go into the military, but only 10% actually go into the military. The other 90% either go on to 4 year school or they may go into the workforce as well. So only 10% actually go into the military. With that said, our school, and the reason why is because we are a highly ranked junior college. If you want to go check out some information on us, and this is for any of our viewers out there, CNN Money actually ranks our junior college very highly. We're number two ranked junior college in the US as far as transferability and graduation rates go here in the United States of America. So that's something we're very proud of, and it's a testament to our faculty and staff here who are very dedicated to your success. What we want to do here as an institution, first and foremost, we are a global leadership school for learning. Okay, that's what we are. Academics is first and foremost, and what we want to provide here for our young men and women in order to provide them with the necessary tools to succeed here in a 21st century economy. And not just a 21st century economy, but a 21st century global economy. As you can see, our cadets here who are joining us this evening, they're from all around the world. And that is something we definitely pride ourselves upon here at New Mexico Military Institute. Now, we're going to be closing out this evening, and I just want to say this in closing. If you are still interested, as I said, in applying for January, please go to our website at nmmi.edu and click on the admissions tab. And there you'll see the application process. It's a very streamlined process for you to follow. I also definitely understand that not everyone's question has been answered here tonight. You may think of some questions once we go offline here that you forgot to ask us. Don't worry, you can email us your questions as well. You can also, we have a chat on our website where you can ask questions to our counselors who are going to be available. They're generally available from 7:30 to 4:30 Mountain Time. You can just send a quick chat question there. One of our counselors will be gladly able to assist you with your question and make sure we get it answered for you. Okay, we usually respond to questions very quickly as far as chat goes. Again, if you are interested in applying, go to our website, check that out. You can also follow us on different social media sites. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. please go ahead and follow us and you can see some of the wonderful things we are doing and also some of the wonderful things these cadets who are joining us here this evening and some of our other 800 cadets, what they're doing here at New Mexico Military Institute. We definitely have some wonderful things going on here. So some of the key takeaways I want you to remember here for this evening is that yes, we're still accepting applications for January. If you want to get started for fall, you can apply for that one as well. Okay. Remember, just because we are a military school, we are using a military structure to go ahead and guide your academic life here at New Mexico Military Institute. Okay. When you come here, you'll meet some wonderful people. We will make sure that you are treated like family here, and we take care of all of our cadets to make sure that we are preparing them to be successful individuals out here in a global economy, as I said before. So with that said, I'm going to be closing out here, but please contact my staff if you have any questions. You can email me personally if you have a question for me at douglas@nmmi.edu. I will answer your question as well. So with that said, I want to thank you all for joining us this evening. God bless you. Have a great night.